name is Mindy. I am CNY Woman here on YouTube, and I am Knitter CNY on Ravelry and Instagram. I am doing a blanket with homespun, and it is all single crochet. The homespun is from Lion brand. It's a number 5 bulky. It's 100% acrylic, and it is I have 6 skeins of it, and this is my 4th skein that I'm working with, I believe. So I have a few more skeins to go. Hi, Kristen. Good afternoon. How are you doing? Let's see. 3, 4. My car got done at the body shop, so I am in good shape again. I am not driving a rental anymore. Kristen says I'm doing okay, and you? Doing good, and my work, and then I went and picked up my car after work and dropped off the rental at the collision shop. They were going to make sure it got back to Enterprise. So that's good. So I didn't have to go all the way over to Enterprise with it. So it worked out really nicely. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that works. It worked out great. You see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good. Got some stuff from Temu today, but I'll show it to you tomorrow because it's on the other side of the room. I think it's the last of my orders, so I can finally delete the app and be done with it. Hope everybody coming in is doing well. We'll have to see where we are. People are still getting notifications, so it might be a while before we get some people. And I got my glasses from Zenny that I ordered. They were like a second pair, and I only paid $182 for them instead of almost $500 that I paid with a regular optical shop, and I think they're just as good. So I think next year I'm not getting the vision plan, and I'm just going to get the glasses from Zenny and just be like, hey, here it is. Yeah, I mean, it's literally half the cost. And then I won't have as much taken out of my paycheck either. So, because I can't use it for eye exams because my eye doctor does not take my insurance from my vision insurance. They only take major medical. And Roland is here and says, I crochet. Great. Welcome in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm using Lion Brand Homespun, which is a number 5 bulky yarn that's 100% acrylic. And I'm using a 9mm hook. I'm just doing a ripple blanket, nothing complicated. All it is single crochet. And a potato, Ada, I guess. Ada says, I'm making a set of rainbow octopi for my friend. Cool. And Gracie is here. Graciela is here and says hi. Welcome in. And Red Panda is here and said hi. Welcome in. So we're doing good today. It's Ada the potato. Oh, okay. Interesting. Pardon me if you're getting like backlighting on my yarn. The sun is coming in my front window, and every once in a while it comes out from behind the clouds, and then everything's backlit for a little bit. I do have a lamp on above, so hopefully it helps a little bit. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And Ada says, my dad called me Ada Patata once, and I just stuck with it. Okay, cool. And Rita says hello again. Hi, Rita. Welcome in. So I'm just doing a decrease on these last 2 stitches. And then I just chain 1 and I turn my work. This blanket right now is at my ankles and it goes up to my waist. As you can see, it is a ripple. It is a ripple blanket. For the beginning of this, what I do is I skip the first stitch here instead of doing a decrease at the beginning. It's just cleaner for me to do it that way. That's the way I've been doing it all the way through the blanket. I do a decrease on the last stitch and I skip the first stitch. So, just in case you were wondering. and then I do 7 single crochets up, and then I do 3 single crochets in the very top. 1, 2, 3, and then I'm doing 7 single crochets down. So 1, 2, 3, sorry, 3, wowzers, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then when I get to the bottom, I'm skipping these 2 bottom stitches, 1, 2, and that makes my V, and then I start doing 6 up, 3 in the top, 7 up. Wowzers. I'm doing another blanket that has 6 up, so you'll forgive me if I made that mistake. It's 7 up and 7 down, 3 in the top, skip 2 at the bottom. You get the idea. And before anybody asks, I don't know how to figure out multiples. I'm not good at that. I just followed the pattern. It was at Lion Brand, and I changed the beginning and the end a little bit. But if you look on Lion Brand's website, there is a pattern for a ripple blanket that takes 6 skeins of homespun. You'll find it. If you go and you look up homespun yarn on Lion Brand, then you can click on the link below that says patterns made with this yarn, and it'll lead you to it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I was going to wait. Do you guys want to see what I got on Temu? It would involve me getting up, grabbing the stuff from the chair that's right across the living room from me, and then sitting back down. You let me know if you want to see the stuff. It's all crochet related. Kristen says, sure. Okay. So we'll take a break from the crochet for a minute. Hang on. I'm going to turn off my, well, I'm not going to turn off anything. You'll just see my feet for a second. See? Look at the lovely hand knit socks. Oh. Hang on a second. Okay. Okay. Hang on one second. We're almost there. Okay. Okay. So we got Temu stuff. The first thing is yarn. I got 2 of these. It is very much like Colorama Halo. Andrea says, that's the one I made. It looks great. Rosa says, hi, success in perfection and little imperfections. So this is from Temu. I got 2 of those. So then the next thing I got were a bunch of t-shirts. This one is, I stitch a piece of my heart into everything I crochet. It's hard to get that all in there, but, and that's plain t-shirt material. Excuse me. Next thing I got is, it's like a silky material. I don't know how to explain it other than that. It's like polyester almost. And it says, crochet fills my days. Yarn fills my living room, dining room, bedroom, and closets. This is a true statement. So, especially the dining room. That's where there's a lot of it. And then this is like a jersey-like material. I don't know how to explain it. Like a football jersey type material. And it says, crochet is my therapy, which I had to get because the podcast, the channel is called CNY Woman Enjoys Yarn Therapy. Perfect to go with it. So that's that. Then I got, oh dear. I got this, which I haven't taken out of the bag yet. I am taking out of the bag now, which is a quilted bag that has space for crochet hooks in it. So I can put a set of crochet hooks in here and have it be nice. It has spots on two sides, and then it has a little pocket in the middle. And don't ask me how much I paid for this stuff, because I have no idea. It was all pretty reasonable. Then I have yarn. I would say this is probably a fingering weight. And it's in purples and blues. And I have 3 of them. So I probably have enough for a shawl. I don't know why I ordered this. I don't work with fingering weight really anymore. But you can see all the colors there, and the sun is shining in. So I have 3 of those. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with them. And then the final thing is something cool, which is this. It's a crochet hook. Thanks, Kristen. It's a crochet hook. Hi, Ananiel. And it's a 6.5 hook. It's got some weight in the handle, and it's a 6.5, so that's a K hook. It looks really nice. Looks to have a nice bevel in it. Nice long neck. Ergonomic. But it's not terribly heavy. So I may use that the next time I try and crochet a baby blanket with either Colorama Halo or puzzle yarn, because I use a 6.5 for that. So that's everything I got from Temu. And now we can go back to the regularly scheduled crochet. Let me get where I was. So I think I'm all done with Temu. I did get some other things like some art printed sacks that are like have Matisse or Van Gogh or something like that on them. You know, like they're like project type bags, lightweight nylon. So I've got that. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And Benita is here and says hi. Hola, Benita. So I had like 4 packages waiting for me when I got home in the mailbox. 3 of them were from Temu and 1 was from Zenny with my new glasses, my backup pair of glasses. So I think I'm good. And if you guys have any questions for me, please feel free to type them in the chat. If you could give me a thumbs up, you can do that by going tap, tap on your screen. You don't even have to leave the video. It's a nice thing to do. And when you do that, YouTube takes note that you did it. And they'll show you more stuff that has crochet and knitting in it. Or crochet and yarn, sorry. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate that. Thank you for the thumbs. It's awesome. In case you've never been here before and you're like, who is this chick? I am Mindy. I am 54 years old. I live in Syracuse, New York, in the United States. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've been doing YouTube for about 14 years. I've been doing lives for about a year. And I'd gone through and deleted a lot of my lives from the past 11 months or so because I had given a little bit too much personal information away. And I was like, don't need that on the channel. And I wanted a fresh start, so I just deleted the lives. So if you're seeing not too many lives and you're like, wait, she did them for a year, I don't understand. Where are they all? Well, that's where they all are. I do regular videos as well. I've done some tutorials. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Andrea, I'm using a 9mm hook. And this is, the yarn is called Lion Brand Homespun. And let's see, it is a 5 bulky that recommends a K hook and it's mostly acrylic. There's a little polyester in there. Yeah, Charlotte says, hey there, that is definitely a good idea to keep your personal information off of here. Yep. Yep. So now I just say I'm from Syracuse and don't give you like location hints of where I am. I just say I'm from Syracuse. I lived down in the city for many years. Now I live in a suburb, but we won't talk about which one. Sure thing, Andrea. Andrea says, thank you. Have a good day. No problem. So let me count my stitches here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I got to go back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sometimes you got to change the pattern a little bit and just skip 1 at the bottom to make it work out instead of 2. In the long run, nobody's going to notice it because this yarn is so bumpy and busy. It's got a lot of texture in it. I hope everybody's doing well today. Like I said, I got my car back today from the body shop. I was in a little fender bender a couple weeks ago, and the guy that hit me took off. So they had to repair my back bumper and some stuff that was damaged underneath the bumper. So car is all fixed, and they detailed it for me, which surprised me. I was like, okay. They vacuumed it inside and out. They made it look spick and span. They washed it. Looked really good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're having a good day. Work was busy. I sent out some technical manuals, sent out a work in progress for somebody who's coming later this week for factory acceptance testing on the product that we produce in the factory. I write technical manuals basically. Then I'm going to be doing a decrease right here on the end because I have 2 stitches left. And then I just chain 1 and turn. So you saw all the Temu stuff. This is my 4th skein, I believe, of homespun. So I have 2 more skeins left. So you may see this blanket again later this week. Because I'm going to try and stick with one project this week and see if I can get it done before the weekend, which would be amazing. And then I can take one project over the weekend and work on that, which is my pink blanket that's out of Mandala and Big Twist Value Pound Plus. So I'm going to try that from now on. So you may see blankets a couple of times. And I'm not doing as many lives as I was. So, I'll probably do like 2 during the week and then 2 on the weekend. Because I don't need to do a whole bunch of lives. You don't need to see the same project over and over and over again. Unless you really want to see the same project over and over and over again. And have me tell you about my kind of boring life. I go to work, I come home, and I crochet. I managed to clean part of the kitchen this weekend. That was truly exciting. So I am just like everybody else. I put my pants on one leg at a time, as they say. It hit 71 here today, which was lovely. It's down to like 68 right now. It'll get down to 53 tonight. So hopefully spring is finally here. We did have snow over the weekend, but it didn't stay. What's the weather like where you guys are? Anybody want to? I don't have Nightbot, so you can't type weather and get your weather, but you could tell me what your weather is. Is it snowing? Is it warm? Is it spring where you are? If you're in Australia, is it starting to be fall? Andrea says, I've been looking for a crochet channel. How can I find this one? You explain everything nice. Oh, good. Well, you can just subscribe to me if you want to. I do have tutorials on learning how to crochet. They're on my playlist on the channel for simple stitches. And then I have a couple blanket tutorials for crochet. I also do knitting a little bit. And I have a learn to knit playlist. And I also have a couple knitting tutorials for how to make a hat and a scarf. So, and Kristen, the Crochet Queen, said it's 69 here in Maryland. It's been a sunny day today. Great. hang on one moment. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. Okay, I thought something was awry. So let me count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got one too many stitches here. What do you do when you have one too many stitches? You do a decrease, and it'll fix the problem. And nobody's going to notice because the yarn is all lumpy bumpy. I think I did it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nope, I was right. Jeepers creepers. Charlotte said, I opened the door to let our dog in. It's so hot here in South Carolina. Oh, wow. Okay, let me count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sit up too. Let's see, what else can I tell you? I told you I'm from Syracuse. My name is Mindy. I've been doing this for a while. I've been knitting and crocheting for about 36 years. I did crochet second, I think. The first thing I did was knit a sweater. And it turned out very, very large because I didn't know about gauge, which is when you count and you figure out how many stitches per inch you have and how many rows per inch you have so that you can knit or crochet to the correct gauge of the pattern so that your measurements turn out to be what you think they're going to be. Gauge is quite important. That almost worked, but not quite. Let's try that again. I think the sale is still going on at Yarn Inspirations, 40% off, and then there's a code out there for like 10% off in addition. So I did place a second order with them for some blanket yarn and for some crochet hooks. They had the Lucite, the plastic crochet hooks on sale for like 49 cents. So I was like, I can always use some more crochet hooks. So I got an L, an M, and an N, which is 8mm, 9mm, and 10mm. Hi, Bridget. Welcome in. So we're in good shape today. Yarn Inspirations. It's 40% off for March. So if you want to get some yarn, some blanket yarn or other yarn kind of cheaply, it's 40% off. And then there's a code around, I think it was like Deep Dive 10 or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but you can try that, Deep Dive 10. And that gives you an additional 10% off. And then if it's $80 or more, then you get free shipping. Otherwise, their shipping is like $10. So it's pretty reasonable. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, if not, you can always just just Google Yarn Inspirations promo code, and it'll take you to like Retail Me Not, and you can always find a code there too. And I'll show you guys what I get when I get it. There's a new version of Bernat blanket that's called Swivel. It has some really nice colors in it. And I was like, I think I want to order that. So I did. I ordered just 2 skeins of it. But I wound up getting 10 skeins of yarn and 3 of those 49-cent crochet hooks for $88. So that works out to less than, it works out to about $8.80 a skein, which is pretty reasonable considering that now their yarn runs $14.99 a skein for Bernat blanket. That's what the regular price is now. And even Walmart is starting to hike their prices for the Bernat blanket to like $11.99. So if you need Bernat blanket or bitty stripes or sock wool, anything like along those lines, I would definitely check it out. Because you can find enough to order $80 worth. Yeah, yep, tariffs hitting yarn and needles hard. Yep, very much so. Luckily, I've got enough yarn for a couple of years, kicking up all the prices. Yep, you're very right, Bridget. LOL. Yeah, I mean, my dining room is full of yarn. Literally, half of my dining room is in totes of yarn. And a lot of it's Bernat blanket. I have a couple spare bedrooms that have yarn in them that are in totes as well. So there's a lot of yarn in my house. The Bernat blanket takes up a lot of space. So at worst, you can use the extra blanket yarn as insulation. Giggle. And somebody says hi, but I don't read Cyrillic alphabet. So 1, 2, 3, 4. But welcome in. Kristen, can you read that name? She might have gone. Bridget said, oops, forgot to thumb up like your video. Just did it. Okay. Kristen says, but. Okay. I was thinking maybe it was like Anna or something along those lines. I wasn't sure. I was going to take a wild guess. Ali. Okay, cool. Thank you. And Norma and Willow is here and says hi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And Bridget says, hi, Ali. So we're in good shape. Thank you, Kristen, for translating. I appreciate that. Probably going to have some pulled chicken after this because my friend made some pulled chicken the other day and she had leftovers and she left them in the fridge for me. Happy Monday, everyone. It is Monday, right? Yes, it is Monday, Bridget. It's Monday, March 30th. You're welcome. Sorry I was a bit behind sewing on a hair cap onto a wooble. Oh, okay, cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, miss me. It is single crochet. It just looks a little weird because of the lumpy bumpy yarn. It's homespun yarn. So all I'm doing is single crochet. And Bridget says the wooble sounds cute, Kristen. Oh, okay. I wasn't sure because of the look. Yep. Yeah, it's hard to tell with this yarn because it's very boucle. And Bridget says it looks dense and soft, Mindy. Yep, it is. It's very nice. And Maria is here and says hi. Welcome in, Maria. And Miss Me says, looks like you skipped a stitch. Nope. I do 3 in the top here. So it looks like I've gone past it, but I really haven't. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now at the bottom, I do skip stitches. At the bottom, I skip 2 to make the V. So I skip 2 down here, and that's on purpose. And she says, new internet connection is being set up here at the ranch. Okay, cool. And Kristen says it's Elphaba from the Wicked Witch of the Wizard of Oz, Wicked. And Bridget wants to know, so it's green, Kristen? Thank you, Paisley. Moose. Bless your day. Thank you. Let's count stitches here before I do anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And then I'm doing 3 single crochets in the top to make up for skipping the 2 at the bottom. And Kristen says, Yep, green skin, purple dress, and black hair. Interesting. And Bridget says, sweet, I saw that play in New York City a couple of years back, or a few years back. Yeah, I got to watch the second half of the movie on Peacock. Kristen says, I'm so jealous. The yarn that I'm using is Lion Brand Homespun. It's a number 5 bulky, and it's mostly acrylic, and it's got a little polyester in it. Kristen, the Crochet Queen, says, I watched it a couple of weeks ago with my sister, the movies, a few weeks ago. Cool. It's the 2 witches from The Wizard of Oz, Bridget says. Let me just finish this row and then I'll read your question and address it. Hang on one second. It didn't quite work out. Okay, and Miss Me wanted to know, the yarn you're using is super pretty. I'm making a blanket in the moss stitch, and the edges aren't straight regardless of my consistency to count and turning change. Any tips? Any tips on moss stitch? It's been a long time since I worked in moss stitch, and I didn't really have any problems. It could be maybe that your tension is a little bit off. You may want to try going up a hook size or down a hook size to see if that might make a difference. And the other thing you can do is I would check out the Crochet Crowd has videos on moss stitch, and I know they've done that before. Could be the yarn is like overspun, maybe. I don't know. You know, you can try putting markers like every 10 stitches. See how that works out for you. Trying to think what else you can do. Oh, she said, I made the mistake of trying to add stripes. Oh, okay. Yeah. All I can guess is maybe your tension's a little off. you know. And if you're into it already, how far into this project are you? Like, how many inches do you have? Bridget says, I'm still struggling with my rubles. I think maybe I'm overthinking crochet. Kristen says, the videos won't steer you wrong. I've made many rubles. And Bridget says, okay, thanks, Kristen. And Miss Me says, the color change messed me up. Okay, so you just finished the 5th row, so you're not that far in. And Kathy, aka Crazy Knitting Nana, says, hi, Mindy, and all in chat. What I would do is take another skein of the yarn and try a bigger hook. Bridget says, is the tension off or is it a combination of different yarns? Good point. I would try hooking up in a small sample and see if you can get the edges more straight. And the worst that happens is you got to yank out. Oh, it's a combination of different yarns. Okay, yeah. So that definitely could affect your tension, because some yarns are thicker, like some 4s are thicker than other 4s. Even though they both say 4 on them, if they're not, you're going to look on the back of the label. One is Bernat Blanket and the other is acrylic. I'm using a 9mm for everything. Okay, if you got a label for both of them, what I would do is check your tension here. And you'll see it'll tell you how many stitches you're supposed to get per inch. Like this one says, for homespun, if I use a K hook, I'm supposed to get 10 stitches by 10 rows with that size hook. So yeah, I would take it and swatch it. If the acrylic you're using isn't a 6, then it might be different. It'll definitely affect your tension if it's not a 6. If it's like a 4 or something, it'll go in and out every time you change the rows. So I would just use one kind of yarn. I would use Bernat Blanket if you're going to use a 9mm hook. The acrylic, if it's a 4 acrylic, it'll like be really loose and lacy. And Bridget brings up a good point too. She says the materials, wool and acrylic, swatch differently with the same needles or the same hook. So Bernat Blanket is 100% polyester. And then versus an acrylic, you're definitely going to have changes in tension. So I would swatch it with a smaller sample, like a smaller number of stitches, and just, do the moss stitch in a smaller pattern and see how it comes out. And then the worst that you have to do is if you're only 5 rows in, pull it out. If you've got, like, if you started with Bernat Blanket, I would use Bernat Blanket all the way through it. I mean, you can always buy another skein of Bernat Blanket in another color if you want to do stripes. But I would stick with one kind of yarn to begin with. So I hope that advice helps you. And I am going to get off now and eat some dinner. So I'm going to let you go for tonight. I'll probably be on again maybe Thursday night. I'm going to skip Tuesday and Wednesday this week. You can check in Wednesday and Friday at 5 o'clock. Go check out Granny D, Knit Pearl Squirrel. She has really good content and she does lives. And she has knitting and crochet on there. So you can check her out. And also, please check out anybody that's got a channel that subscribes here. Thank you very much and have a good evening.